And now, I shall resurrect Slifer the Sky Dragon!
Oh man, he just brought back an Egyptian god!
Slifer's attack points are determined by the number of cards in my hand. And since I'm holding 4, he now has 4,000 points!
Hey guys, this is Slifer Maniac. Guys, we are delivering. Oh, better to say I'm delivering. Welcome to a deck profile of the Waking the Dragons arc that I've never been putting out before. None other the deck profile of the person you see right before you, Rex Raptor. Well, Rex Raptor and Weevil Underwood, you might say, A squirrel and B squirrel, so really like a, yeah, you might say comparable to a really comedic duo sometimes. But they are not bad duelists actually. They are, count as part of the elite duelists of all in the world. Both of them are regional champions. In the Duelist Kingdom arc, they were really great, and then they lost. Had to return home, and in the Battle City they tried it again. And also in the Orichalcos arc. But in the Orichalcos arc, these two, frustrated with their Rex and Weevil, of course, these two frustrated with their past losses, try to do anything about it and become more powerful than they were before. And so they saw what the Orichalcos Seal of Orichalcos card can do, as Raphael witnessed from the might say from back under a hill, or leaned and under against the hill. How Raphael defeated Yugi. They made the conclusion to join the forces of evil in order to get stronger and to become the best duelists in the world, or at least part of them. And in order to do that, they joined forces with Dartz, jumped onto a ladder where Raphael's helicopter was bringing him away, and onto the center of Dartz headquarters. Yeah, and then they joined forces, and then they were put, you might say, on the headhunt against Joey and Yugi. Rex had to fight against Joey, as he did in Duelist Kingdom arc, and which was a little bit the root of his frustration. And Weevil had to fight Joey, and Rex, of course, like I said. So, and then, you might say, so we have to make the assumption, or better to say, we had, was witnessed in the show, in the anime series, that in the headquarters of Dartz, there was also a, basement or cellar where all the best cards of the world, except for the 3 Egyptian boss monster cards, they were not allowed to use, but all others they could use in order to power up their decks. And so they did. So you might really say that the best decks of all time for these two, at least, we do witness in the Orichalcos arc. And of course, Rex Raptor is still the same main focus on dinosaurs. Like the king-headed Rex was like his second best monster, besides the red-eyed black dragon in the Duelist Kingdom arc. Of course, until he lost it to Joey. But I'm giving him another one because we can make the assumption that, like I said before, we didn't see it in the Orichalcos arc that he had a red-eyed black dragon. But as I said, we can assume that he might have had put another one in his deck, as Dartz had the most powerful cards in the world. So The red as black dragon was rare, but not like unique. So we can assume he would have put it in his deck. And just a second, guys. There we go. Yeah. So also put it in here. Also the Serpent Night Dragon. So if you guys wonder why they're in here. So there we go. Without further ado, just like dive into it, and then we can discuss what we have in here. Of course, he does also have new dinosaur cards, so that you guys not are wondering where he gets. Yeah, hard to get out, but I eventually pulled them out. So there we go. First, starting off with Two-Mouth Dark Ruler, Earth attribute, 3 stars, and dinosaur type, of course, 900 attack and 700 defense. Why not start off with vanilla? We didn't see this actually him playing out, I think, but I'm not 1000% sure. So one of the main monsters that he engages into a duel is this one, and it's also a new one which we didn't see before at all. Namely, Kaitoptera. The wind type 4 stars and wind attribute 4 stars and dinosaur type 1,400 attack and 1,000 defense, and the effect works like that. If your opponent controls 2 or more face-up monsters except wind monsters, those monsters cannot target this target for attacks. You can only use each of the following effects of Kaitoptera once per turn. During your main phase, you can add 1 polymerization from your deck to your hand. If this card is banished, you can special summon it. Then you can add 1 polymerization from a graveyard to your hand. So 2 effects with polymerization and 1 which keeps him from being attacked. I have this as a 3 of in here because I think it's one of the key cards of his deck. Just look at the artwork, very cool. Love the pterodactyl. Yeah. Then another one which was introduced here was Gylosaurus, a card which I think at the very first round, as he pulled it, he also he has the effect that it's like right away directly jumps onto the field with a special summon to do this effect. It's an Earth attribute, 3 stars, dinosaur type, of course, 1,400 attack, 1,400 defense. You can choose the normal summon of this card and treat it like a special summon. If you choose the special summon method, your opponent has to choose 1 monster of his graveyard and can special summon it also. So it also has a downside. It didn't have that downside in the show, I think. He had 2 Gylosaurus. We saw 2, but I thought it would make also sense in the word to put this one as 3 off in here. Makes his deck just stronger. Then OG card, which I think he played out in the Duelist Kingdom, or maybe we saw in his hands, which is Arabi. Earth attribute also 4 stars, dinosaur type, 1,500 attack and 800 defense. This one I have here as a 2 of. Then a card which I think also was played out in Duelist Kingdom, which was Trachodon. Earth attribute 3 stars, 1,300 attack and 800 defense, of course a dinosaur type as well. I thought this one also as a 2 of. Guys, we have to realize that the cards we do see in this arc alone are not enough in order to build a deck. So you have to also make additions in here from cards which he had or presumably has in the future, because I also put one. We see Weevil and Rex dueling also in the championship arc, but we do see just a few minor cards from them. So I included also some. Then Crawling Dragon. By the way, the Trachodon is a very rare monster card because it was only released in the McDonald's pack, and since then it never got a reprint. So, Crawling Dragon number 2, also an Earth attribute, 4-star, dinosaur type, 1600 attack and 200 defense. Many vanillas in here, but yeah. The other card that I was talking about recently, being used by Rex Raptor in the Championship arc, which is the Balloon Lizard. There's 2 of I have this in here. And the Earth attribute, 4 stars and reptile type, 500 attack, but 1900 attacks defense, so a good defensive posture. And the effect works like that. You have to put in each of your standby phases 1 counter on this card. The controlling player of this card that destroys this card gets damage equal to the amount of counters on this card by 400s. So if I understand this correctly, your opponent, if an opponent destroys it, he gets 400 damage for each counter on this card, and still also having a good 1900 defense. It's a good defensive wall. So also there's 2 of in here. Of course, I had to put the 2 king-headed Rex in here. 2-headed King Rex, sorry. Earth attribute, 4 stars, 1600 attack, 1200 defense, of course, in dinosaur type. I think the only non-dinosaur type that we have in here is the Balloon Lizard. Oh, we do have another one, of course, or 2 even, because Red Eyes is also a dragon. I gave him Sapulsauria. Yeah, because it's also a dinosaur. So Earth attribute, 4 stars. Dinosaur type, 1900 attack. It's also one of the reasons which I put in here, and 500 defense. So a good attack posture we also need. Do need. Thomasauria. I don't know if this was played out. So this wasn't played out, I'm sure. But this one might have been in the Duelist Kingdom deck. Yeah. You have to realize I put this deck together a while ago. I think this might also be an addition, so I'm not sure anymore. Earth attribute, 2 stars, dinosaur type, 500 attack and 400 defense. Ain't that strong of a monster, but still a dinosaur. You have to be aware of the fact that Rex Raptor also had some few weak cards in here, even if he pimped out his deck. We have Black Stego, a card which he didn't play out nor used. Earth attribute, 4 stars. Dinosaur type with 1200 attack and 2000 defense. So another good defensive option for this deck in order to stall a little bit until you get your place. If this card is effect is if this card has been chosen as an attack target by the opponent of your monster, this card is immediately put to defense position. So automatically, if it attacks in its attack position and it has been attacked by your opponent's monster, it's also immediately put into defense position. Then I have a card which he played out in this arc, which was Tyrant Dragon, which is a dragon, of course. And, fire type, 7 stars, if I be counting right. Well, I think even 8. 4, 6, 8 stars. Dragon type, 2900 iconic attack and 2500 iconic defense. Why iconic for me? Because it's I think the boss monster that my best friend always had in his deck. And the effect works like that. It may attack twice if another monster is still on the side of the field of your opponent during the battle phase. It can attack another one row or multiple times. Additionally, you can negate the effect of trap cards that specifically designate this card as a target and destroy the trap card. This card has been special summoned from your graveyard to the other card effect. You have to tribute dragon type monster from your side of the field. So little downside it does have, but the other ones are very, very much an advantage. Of course, I gave him still a red eyes because I think, like I said, he would have taken one from Dart's great card data bank. And yeah, of course, the iconic red eyes with this dark type 7 stars dragon, dark attribute 7 stars in dragon type, 2400 iconic attack and 2000 iconic defense. Then another boss monster which we saw in his deck. You might. Sorry guys, I was interrupted. I had to. I don't know what my mobile phone did. It just cut the lights. I can't explain it. It just went out, so I have to make a part 2. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I cannot put this one together because it's like I can try. I tried to put it together, and then maybe if it doesn't work, I make 2 parts. But like I said, the boss monster of this arc, even I think beyond Tyrant Dragon, because Tyrant Dragon would be the boss monster of this arc, but it's not a dinosaur type. But Black Tyranno is, which he also played out on an Earth attribute and 7 stars, a dinosaur type with 2600 attack and 1800 defense. And its effect works like that: if the only cards on your opponent's side of the field are defense position monster cards, this card can attack your opponent's left points directly. So this monster card can very much give us a turning point, or better to say, it can nail your victory. Because imagine you have a good board with monsters who are stronger and superior to your opponents, and he tries to outmaneuver you with the defense and good defensive wall. You can still hurt his life points very badly with this card. Yeah, so Black Tyranno right there. Then Serpent Night Dragon. We saw that he lost this card also, and he lost Red Eyes and Duelist King, but the Battle City Serpent Night Dragon against Asperoba. So I thought maybe he would play this one out another time. And I think, I'm not very 100% certain, but I think in the championship arc he played this out another time. But you correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below. And Dark Attribute 7 stars, 2350 attack and 2400 defense. It's another dragon type for this deck. So this is it. This is my monster lineup. And without further ado, I would just say, just jump into the spells. By the way, if you want to make a picture for your own good or your own deck building ideas, you can do it right now. In 5 seconds I will put it in away. 5, 4, 3, 2. So still I think it ain't that bad of a dinosaur deck, considering all the cards that he used and played out or had in the hand and all of these arcs. Like I said, I had to consider all cards that he played in the whole Duel Monsters arc, as it was difficult even then to build a deck from scratch, you might say, and still I had to make some additions. So Dragon Nails, I think it's called in English, as the first spell card, as a equip spell card, which he played out I think also in the Duelist Kingdom. Equip one dark monster with this card. It gets 600 attack. Additionally, it cannot be destroyed by card effects of your opponent. If this card is brought to the graveyard, or has been being put to the graveyard because your equipped monster has been destroyed due to battle and put to the graveyard, then you can special summon the monster, and if you do, you can equip it to that card, but banish it if it leaves the field. And that's also once per turn effect. Very cool card. First played out by none other than Rex Raptor. Then I thought, into the Duelist Kingdom arc, he had these field cards, field spell cards. I gave him Lost World. I'm not sure whether it was Tyrone Hasselberry or Crocodile Team Crocodile, but I think it was maybe Tyrone Hasselberry, or maybe it's just a support card, but I thought still this would make all the sense in the world, so it's my so I made up my mind and put this one into this very deck. It's a field spell card. All monsters on the field lose 500 attack and defense, except dinosaur monsters. Once per turn, if a dinosaur monster is normal or special summoned, except during this damage step, you can special summon 1 Jura Egg token. Dinosaur Earth level 1, attack 0, defense 0 to your opponent's side, opponent's field and defense position. While your opponent controls a token, they cannot target monsters on the field with card effects, except tokens. Once per turn, if a normal monster on the field would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy that many dinosaur monsters in your hand in our deck instead. So also in protective mechanics in here, and also in power boosting engine for dinosaur monsters, and that with a token, good is for special summoning reasons, but yeah, blocking the field of your opponent, of course. And then it's well. It's also another block effect because you cannot target any monsters on the field with card effects. So it's a double blocking effect. Very good. Boosts this deck considerably, of course. I gave him 1 Mystical Space Typhoon. Why not have a quick spell card that destroys other spell or trap cards? Also an exchange. It could be a situational tactical help here and there if your opponent has the upper hand. And Ultra Evolution Pill. So this card he also played out in the championship arc, but there will be no championship deck profile for the Rex Raptor, as we just see a couple of cards. Far too minor to make a deck out of it, and I don't want to make a deck out of scratch. So there you go. We have to offer 1 reptile monster as a tribute, and then summon 1 dinosaur monster as a special summon from your hand. We of course have 2 reptile monsters at least in the deck, so yeah, there we go. And to make it more probable that this card works, I put a second one in here. Then a Pot of Greed, of course, in order to draw 2 cards. A Monster Reborn that also always has to be in those decks. Those are just staples. And I don't know if we ever saw them, but yeah, still they will be in here. Then 2 polymerizations. Of course, I don't know. I have to explain what Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed, and Polymerization does. Polymerization is very much essential because one of the main strategies will be a fusion summon, in this arc at least. A Premature Burial, of course, 800 to pay 800 life points and a group spell card in order to special summon 1 monster from the graveyard. He didn't play it out, but I thought would be strengthen that deck. A Dark Hole also as a good board breaker, if you have to. Erased Body Heat. I think he played this one out in the Duelist Kingdom arc, but I might be wrong. But still, working with dinosaurs and a group spell card, dinosaur type monster equipped with this card increases its attack and defense by 300 points. Yeah, decent. Then I also gave him a Fissure in order to destroy 1 monster on your opponent's side of the field with lowest attack. And last but not least, do have the Seal of Orichalcos. Also, no need to explain that because you also already might know it by now. Another field spell card. And if you maybe have the Lost World, but you want to play out this one, you also have the Mystical Space if you want to destroy it yourself. Of course, the Seal of Orichalcos cannot be destroyed by spell and trap cards, and increases your monster's attack and defense. Now, attack by 500, as long as you have 2 or more monsters in a face-up attack position. Your opponent cannot target your monster with the lowest attack as an attack target. And yeah, of course, the downside is you have to destroy all monsters that you control, and it has been played out as a special summon. And you cannot special summon any cards from your extra deck. So it's like a little bit countering the your polymerization. So you have to first do these polymerizations and then put this one out. If you do otherwise, of course, you can also use Mystical Space. I think spell and trap cards don't work with this one. Yeah, just once per turn, so it can, but you can also destroy it. Of course, it's your own effect. And of course, Seal of Orichalcus you can just play out once per turn, once per duel, even not once per turn. So this is it. This is my spell lineup. You also maybe do a picture, or can pause if you want, and then we lastly go into the traps. I can't say lastly because there's still an extra deck, so it's not the last, of course. We do have a bottomless trap hole, which he I think played out, or it was seen one or the other, of course. When your opponent summons a monster with 500 attack or more, destroy a monster with 1,500 attack, and if you do, banish it instead to sending it to the graveyard, so even better. And then I gave him I think he didn't have this, but he had a couple of trap cards which not currently existing in the TCG, so I gave him Hunting Instinct instead. If one or more monsters are special summoned to the side of your opponent, except for during the damage step, summon one dinosaur monster as a special summon from your hand. So a good countermeasure. Then there was also a trap card which was called, I think, Jura Heart. I gave him Jura Impact instead, which works like that. If you have two or more dinosaur monsters and control them, and fewer life points than your opponent, destroy as much monsters on the field as possible. And if you do, you get for every destroyed monster 1,000 damage, and then your opponent also gets the damage you got until the end. Yeah, until the end. The end of the next turn after the activation of this card, no player can normal or special summon monster onto the field. And ain't that bad. So this is the trap lineup. It is very few, but he didn't have that much, so I thought, okay, let's not boost this deck too much, but still, yeah, of course we could also give him a Mirror Force and those things, but he simply didn't possess those cards, so I don't want to make it too goatee, because if I make a pure goat for my deck, of course, then I would do whatever I want, but I wanted to stick more to the character. More because the anime character is the main focus. Of course, it should be also be playable, but yeah, not for the sake of it to put just random cards in here. And the cards have to be still have a realistic foundation. You have to like make an explanation why they're in here, or yeah, there have to be some reasoning behind it, because yeah, like I said, with Red Eyes and all those things, that would make sense. And also having trap cards which are a little bit the tendency to have more to do with the dinosaur topic in general make at least for me more sense. So last but not least, we have an extra deck, 3 Horn Saurus, 6 stars, Dark Attribute, Dinosaur type fusion, and 2,000 attack and 1,800 defense. So for the fusion summon, you need 1 Chaetoptera and 1 dinosaur or dragon monster. So you can, fuse this Chaetoptera with any card in the deck except I think for the Balloon Lizard. And it in fact works like that. This card can, in the very turn, and that was be special summoned, it can attack directly. And you can use every of the following effects of Horn Saurus just once per turn. If this card has been fusion summoned, you can take one field spell card from your deck or graveyard and put it face up onto your field spell zone. And during your main phase, you can immediately after this effect has been resolved, summon one dinosaur or dragon type monster as a normal summon. So very handy effects in here, and making the deck even stronger than before. But I didn't want to cut to the chase too much, so I don't. As a result of that, I did conclude I don't want to have too much monsters or engines in here, which then later on Tino Hasselberry will be using in GX or another player in 5Ds or even before. And I didn't want to put too much support in here, so yeah, I want it has to be a good balance between making sense, because it would be far more closer to the dinosaur theme, but still boosting the whole shenanigans and the deck in general. And of course, also we do have the Seal of Orichalcos, so also that theme wouldn't be too much out of the window. So this is it. This is my I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. '41 card deck profile. I hope you guys liked it, enjoyed it. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, guys. Show me some love. And make sure to stay tuned. Ring the bell. To stay tuned for more content of this kind. As always, I hope you guys a good morning, a good midday, good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night. Wherever and whenever and wherever you might witness this one. This is me, your Life Maniac, and a big, big, big peace.